Hey guys, great morning to you. Happy Monday. Monday is the day of opportunity. I'm always saying that. That's the way we got to look at Monday. And trust me, it is. This is where you can make your money, you can change your life, you can change other people's lives. So today, I want to talk about the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions you ask. What does that mean? So, a lot of people don't ask questions. When we're younger, you're embarrassed to ask questions and you don't want to look stupid. But you're not going to get anywhere if you're not asking questions. And I'm not talking about asking questions that you even know that there's a question. So, my coach taught me that, there's this section, I'm going to maybe not do it justice, but there's this section of life where we know that we know. So we know that we know some kind of stuff. And there's this section of stuff that we know we don't know. We know that we don't know. Like, for instance, I know that I don't know how to, um, you know, uh, do something with well, I know I don't know how to slam a basketball, or I don't know how to break an atom or something, but I know that those are things that can be done, but I just don't know how to do them or I'm not capable of doing them. But the biggest section in life is the things that you don't know that you don't know. You don't even know they exist. You don't even know that they're a possibility. And how do you get to these don't know that you don't know exists? And why do you want to get there? Well, first off, you only get there if you're always asking questions. And you're asking questions, and those questions lead to things that you didn't even know were possibilities. So why am I talking about this? If you want to get anywhere in life, you can't think about just, and I don't want to say anywhere, but if you want to go to the next level or you want to 10x or you want to 20x your life, you have to ask questions. You might not even know that were questions. They just seem to be the next logical step. So I'll give you an example of yesterday. My favorite, best student, um, they had goals. They work with me, and you can't work with me and not have goals. And over the new year, we took those goals and we put them in an Excel spreadsheet and we put them by, you know, each month, and we're tracking that. And but you really got to think about your goals. I make you think about your goals and are you working on those goals? And okay, January is over. Where'd you go with these goals? And one of this guy's goals was to um, to buy a new house. And then the new house is, probably going to be significantly more money than the current house. But we worked on like, why not? It's one of my favorite things to say, why not? Like, he's got a nice house. He already feels like, he wants another house, but he didn't know like, how can I get another house? It all starts with the question, you know, how can I get the house that I really want? And a lot of people just go, well, they don't even think of that question. For instance, when I first moved to Aruba, I asked the question, like I was coming here for 4 or 6 weeks and on vacation, and it was quite expensive. And I said, I wonder if I can rent a house for a year and pay around the same money. Well, my wife was like, no way, that must be not, no way. But well, I asked the question. And when you ask the question and you seek the answers, then I found out, hey, I was spending X amount of dollars to come for 6 weeks. And if I spend 5,000 more, I can have a house for a whole year. How crazy is that? Unless you ask the question. And then, can I come for a whole year? You can't just come for a whole year. And I wasn't able at that time to come for a whole year, but I could come for 6 months, or I could try to come for 6 months, or I could come for 4 or 6 months. And, until I asked that question and until I took that into action, you got to ask the question and take action. So ask the question, call a realtor, look at houses. Once you start looking at houses, you're going to buy a house. Now your whole frame changes. Not like, hey, is it possible? It's possible. And now it's like, what house do I want? You know, and how do I get that house? And even if you're short, how do I get that money? It leads to the next question. So, that led to me, having a house here for a full year rented, um, and coming back and forth and coming back and forth, which led to, hey, maybe I can live here. you know, and these were questions, a lot of people say, oh, you must be loaded or you got to be rich to live in the Caribbean, this, that, and the other. How do you know what it costs unless you look into it? I hear all kinds of people like, oh, I would love to do that. Oh, yeah. Have you looked at the price? Have you looked at how much it would cost? Would you look at how much the down payment is? Have you looked at if you can work remotely? Like, ask these questions. If you want to change your life and the quality of your life, ask the questions. There's something that you want and you're not asking the questions. Just ask the question. It doesn't require anything but thought and a little bit of time and effort to figure out the answers. And I promise you, once you start looking at the next step, it's not that far off. So let's say you get stuck at like, yeah, I could move to Aruba. I can afford it, or a Caribbean or wherever. Um, but I can't work remotely, you know? Well, now what's the next question? Well, can you get a different job that you can work remotely? Can you go on your own and work remotely? Can this is what I'm saying. A lot of people, first off, don't even know what they want. You really need to know what you want. And you need to start asking the questions that get you. So back to my one student. So he found this fantastic, beautiful looking house, six times what the price of what he's moving into. And we had a plan, a realistic plan for him to save money for this year and then um, start looking next year. That's a realistic plan. But what happened was, he saw this house, he loves this house. He said, man, how can I get this house now? That's the question. How can you, that goal that you had for next year, that's the question now. Okay, now you start looking. Now you start feeling, you're putting emotion behind, you're taking action. You see the house. Now you go, how can I do it now? And you'll find a way. And there was a possibility. This was a house that they lowered the price, and the owners, we were going to offer maybe to do a rent to own or a lease option, um, or have the seller carry a note. But then he went and looked at that house, which led to look at another house, which led to another house that he really likes. It's only 3.5 times what he's paying right now. Um, and then those lead to these questions like, okay, well, if I got to buy this traditionally, how much money do I have to put down? Some people are not buying houses. They don't know if they don't know they can put 3% down as first time home buyer. Now he can't do that because you're talking millions of dollars. But how much can you put down? Well, then you get the mortgage guy. I asked my mortgage guy. My mortgage guy is now pre-qualifying him. So in the matter of literally, the goal was started 5 weeks ago. We're 5 weeks into it. It was a goal for next year. Now it's looking at houses and getting pre-qualified this week and making offers. He's pushed the goal for next year up a full year, maybe faster, by asking questions. So, and asking questions, I could go on for, these daily nuggets are supposed to be 5 to 10 minutes. I could go on in many different directions. But are you asking questions? And remember, the questions that you're asking will totally align with the quality of your life. So have the best day of your life. Hope that helps.